is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for October 22nd, 2020, Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern. When we realize that the world is literally our mirror, and everyone is always reflecting back to us on who we are. If we see an unhappy person, that person is inside of you. And when you're truly enlightened, the experience of the divine awakening being begins showing up in everyone. And it shows up in the most interesting ways. We are in an ever-flowing river of gratitude all day long. So we can choose to become courageous on this path and begin to move into the risk to meditate and quiet our mind all day long. And soon we'll come to know that what it means to be self-realized. And once we remember to love ourselves, worship ourselves, pray to ourselves, devote our lives to ourselves, find joy in ourselves because God dwells in us as us. Something you might want to try is hold an intention. Have an intention. Hold that intention to move down out of your head and relax into your heart. Your head will be sneaky and try to take over many, many, many times. Yet just bring your energy into your heart space. Imagine your heart is your favorite flower opening its petals up to the great sun. And feel the light entering your heart. It is melting away any walls you have inside around feeling loved. Now, pick someone, a person in your past who you're not 100% at peace with. And let these warm walls around your heart melt away and merge with the heart of this person also. Feel the sunlight is also inside their heart. Let go of whatever the mind judges about them. The goal is to be 100% at peace with this person for the rest of your life. When you can do this successfully with one person, do it with everyone from your past. Take this on as an invitation to be at peace with everyone on this planet and the past and the future. Practice this and imagine how that will be. Healing simply happens when we are deeply authentic and real with ourselves. And when we each stop repressing the truth of who we are and are open with how we are honestly feeling, our real self receives full permission to come out of hiding. And it's easy to see the truth, and we can easily stop being so invested in the opinions of others. We can no longer hesitate, recoil, and retreat in fear of another's disapproval. It's your choice if you are ever free from the judger inside you. You who is not okay with others as they are, and you as you are. There does exist a deeper, mature part which can accept everything inside of us, and we can stop trying to pretend that we are more adult-like than how we really feel inside. To identify oneself with the body and yet to seek happiness is like attempting to cross a river on the back of an alligator. Ramana Maharishi. Merging is from the highest path a person can take. Moving into your most enlightened self comes from seeing that everyone is you in disguise. Everyone is you in disguise. it's up to you to remember who you truly are. And with enough meditation practice, there comes this realization that you're in me and I am in you. And the divine real self that we are all is impossible not to see. So we realize it is everywhere and has no actual boundaries. And it is not terrified of intimacy with anyone. It loves letting go, shape-shifting and merging with everyone in the universe. It knows that if you cannot see God in all, you cannot see God at all. This is about finding our real selves. And it's important to be gentle with your exploration. Be compassionate with what you find. This life is the deepest mystery, and the more we can uncover who we are, the more we see that we have just scratched the surface, and there is so much more there is to be revealed. And in the midst of winter, I found there was, within me, an invincible summer. Albert Camus. How do we really liberate ourselves? Our essence, our essential joy, is so huge that it flows in every direction. Nirmala. Sometimes we forget that the most important place we can turn for answers is inside ourselves. The outer world tends to captivate us, tantalize us, and coerce us to lose our inner direction with its materialistic importance and superficial psychodramas. We can become emotionally captured by these experiences and feel completely disconnected from the safe, soothing resource of our inner world. The mind can become so involved in the external that we fall blind to the truth of the radiant sacred beings we actually truly are. Radiant sacred beings. The most enlightening path to liberation is the one that is the most sustainable and always available from within. This approach has stopped the search in the outer world for real fulfillment and knows there is no greater source of true satisfaction than the one that exists within. It's the incessant searching of the mind which causes us not to see. We are not seeing the divine sacred beings we truly are because we are following the mind's perpetual wanting, yearning, and desiring habit. The more time we give for appreciating what is in our lives, accepting and loving the people who share our lives with us, the wanting program that had caused internal blindness slowly starts to fade out of our lives. As long as the mind is directed outwards, our energy continues to flow away from our center, away from deep inner peace and the stillness where all real, sustainable answers to life are found. The truly liberated being is the one who has chosen to give up the perpetual search for happiness out there and lives only at the source of their pure spiritual essence, which is always available within. So when we turn our attention to the real source itself, the energetic blackboard behind our inner world, the essential roots of love, thought, and creativity, become the real gold. When we discover the possibility of stopping the mind from its addiction to needing something outside itself to be satisfied, we discover the greatest world of freedom and empowerment has always been inside. And where there is awareness, there is the potential for healing and spiritual freedom. In each moment, we can become aware where we are focusing our attention. Is it now on my inner world or my outer world. Eventually, with enough awareness, we will see that they are the same, and there is only one world. The mind is very conditioned and accustomed to perceiving a separation. Focusing on the outer world for the causes of manifestation and fulfillment, it doesn't want to take 100% responsibility for the uncomfortable feelings that can be hiding in its basement. When we bring more awareness to where the source of the mind is coming from, where our outer world is truly manifesting from inside ourselves, we slowly start to see we have total responsibility over the manifestations in our life. And by not judging, but simply accepting what we find on the journey towards the source of all thought, we eventually discover how to relax into this divine responsibility, bathe in the light of our being. The source of our spiritual essence begins to take precedence over the mind, and we relax into a deeper life experience that is full of unlimited potentiality and freedom. Perhaps the most wonderful thing about the universe is that it is perpetually benevolent. It always gives us exactly what we need, especially when we don't realize what it is we truly need. If we are only directing our attention toward the outer world, we burn out and the universe leads us to retreat back into our inner world to reboot. The body and mind are programmed to find balance, peace, and healing. At some point, the pendulum of life will swing us back to stillness on its own accord. And the stillness is the doorway to our ultimate creativity and God-given creating into reality manifestation and responsibility. This is the moment our real spiritual journey begins, and the unfulfilling, never-ending path to satisfy the ego comes to an end. Being always feeling and reflecting on the real being, be that and cling close to it. Let your quest be constant and sustained until you catch the self and thereby find eternal happiness. Ramana Maharishi. You may find thus far on your path to inner liberation is this. The soul or spiritual being, who you truly are, is so huge, all-consuming, and deeply enlightening that ultimately it does not matter if you get whatever your ego wants or doesn't want. Your mind ego will always be trying to want something that it thinks will finally bring it to being completely fulfilled and satisfied. The problem is that it only knows how to want. It does not know how to relax and rest in having or pure being. The rabbit hole goes even deeper here. For just recognizing the incessant desiring mind habit is not the final answer to freedom. The real freedom comes from knowing that when we do get whatever we want, we will also get what we don't want. Whenever we create in reality or manifest any desire, we always get both. There's no single payoff from achieving any desire in this world that does not also have a cost to it. And here's an example. We finally meet our dream partner or soulmate. Only later we find out that they have this deeply annoying habit that we cannot stand. Or when we get to buy our dream car, we realize it also comes with an insanely high monthly insurance rate and costly maintenance fees. The weekend drinker who loves to party always forgets about the horrible hangover experience that will painfully consume his or her life the next morning. If we discipline ourselves with daily exercise and get super strong and fit we may only later discover we are becoming super stiff and tight from not integrating deep stretching exercises as well. Even if we think we found our perfect dream life, there's always going to be a need for a feeling of the gratitude about it all, to keep the mind happy, peaceful, and at a higher vibration so we can evolve and manifest an even more amazing experience of life next year. So this understanding may initially make life feel hopeless, but it is the doorway to absolute freedom beyond it all. Always getting both, what we want and what we don't want, is one of the most enlightening and deeply liberating spiritual paths to explore. When we realize that this life is always going to be a break-even, win-lose experience with every desire we go after, we start to relax about the whole game, drop into something deeper inside. And in the beginning, this dropping in can feel like apathy. Thinking, what's the point of it all? If we always get what we want and what we don't want, and never only just the goodies. Yet this feeling will soon fall away as well. When we see that the nature of desire, which means not having, is pure suffering, and that inner peace with desire actually manifests our desires much more easily, then the great ride of life becomes enjoyable along the way. When we understand that every single time that we create into reality or manifest any desire, we get both what we want and don't want, we stop becoming so attached to making our desires manifest. We stop trying to manipulate and control life so as to get it to flow our way. We stop being so greedy, needy, and full of selfish, egoic agendas. Then there arises this feeling of sweet surrender to the grand totality of life, the majesty of our being, and the simple awareness of this profound truth. We gently begin to relax into our spiritual nature and thus become a more powerful, creating into reality, manifesting magnet for everything our heart desires. Life's problems may be complicated, yet the answers are always very simple. The universe is full of mystery and paradox. And when we give up on wanting something, we become a stronger magnet for receiving it. It seems backwards. A lot of people, it's hard for them to understand this, yet it happens every time. So when we relinquish attachment to something, that something just wants to fall into our lap. The most enlightened approach to deal, as far as to dealing with attachment to a desire, is knowing that once the desire is manifested, we must be emotionally prepared to receive the opposing negative byproduct as well. For instance, you go into your exchange and you get a lot of money. That's what you've been desiring. But on the flip side, your whole life changes. Everything changes. You become more concerned about your well-being. You become more concerned about being private and not having anybody snoop. These are all, it comes with it. So being emotionally prepared to receive the opposing negative byproduct as well. It doesn't mean we cannot or should not celebrate the attainment of our goal in an outrageous way. In fact, it's best that we give it our all, do a total let go, and fall deep into appreciation, because this increases our joy vibration and ability to growing stronger as a powerful manifesting magnet. As we let go into total full self-expression, we can rise even higher into ecstatic bliss, because we know that very soon the annoying negative flip side to things will arise and bring everything back to an even, neutral balance. Life is like a gambling casino where you always win whatever you bet. If you bet 5, you get 5 back each time. There's always an even outcome, a perfect balance to life, which makes everything fair in the end. Karmically, we always get whatever we put into our lives. Some say life is unfair, yet life actually is completely fair. Everything balances itself out in the end. We simply have to look for the rainbow when we're drowning in the rainstorm. There's always a brilliant wave of light underneath every dark undertow of fear. The universe was set up this way so we could remain neutral, relaxed in the awareness that that is at the center of our being, which subsequently is also the center of the entire universe. The trick to life is to be continually alert to the new, because nothing is ever as it seems. We all can think a person is a certain rigid way, or who lives only at the end to realize that they had a hidden flexible part that we could never see. It is how we see things that makes them what they are. And our perception of people colors and taints them, yet does not come close to the truth of their grand totality. Every one of us is a permanent grand mystery to be experienced and explored. And when we hold this understanding as sacred, our relationships and communications with others unfold in a much more enlightening way. Once we become conscious about this perpetual balanced nature of duality, the incessant desiring game will completely subside. Then we are eased into a nesting area of true relaxation within our hearts and lives. And here, we can experience the grace and joy of our divinity, the healing quality of our being. We can discover real freedom, our true essence, and our essential nature. Observe the mind when thoughts come. Ask, to whom do these thoughts come to? Always watch, witness, and observe. Do not get caught in thought. Just surrender. Robert Adams. So when you have thought, instead of fighting it and sparring with it, you just surrender to it. Our dreams know the way. Our dreams know the way. Life is here to challenge us to grow in ways we cannot imagine. Our lives are meant to be dangerous so that we don't fall asleep at the wheel and take this amazing world for granted. It is the scariest ride and the most exhilarating one any of us will ever be on. It is in our darkest hours of life that we simply need to learn how to relax, let go of our agendas, and realize that the light is always on at the end of the tunnel. Our real challenges are to learn how to do this every day, trusting that everything is unfolding perfectly as it should for our soul's highest evolution in consciousness. And when we accept this divine challenge, we stop resting this opportunity or resisting it to grow and taking it on as an enlightening adventure. People want to know how they can experience being truly unstoppable in their lives. Well, learn how to increase your consciousness and expand your energy. Learn how to increase your consciousness and expand your energy. By tapping into a higher vibration, think about this in your heart minds. By tapping into a higher vibration of belief in ourselves, we won't care so much if things go exactly as planned. Instead, we'll just continue to do what inspires us and lifts our vibration. there is a way you can turn up your energy so high that nothing can get in your way. It starts with a commitment to yourselves that you will keep sacred for the rest of your life. And this commitment is to be kind to yourself, gentle with you, and never, ever, ever, ever come down hard on yourself, no matter what. This is a way you can turn up your energy so high that nothing can get in your way. It starts with a commitment to yourself that you will keep sacred for the rest of your life. This commitment is to be kind to yourself, gentle with you, and never come down hard on yourself ever, no matter what. Follow this one sweet little secret for even a few weeks in a row, and you'll start increasing your vibration to attract, create into reality, and manifest everything your heart desires. I'll read to you something that was in an email. It's quite inspiring. It makes us all realize no matter how dark, rough, and tough life can be, or it can get, there's always a way to get through it and even come out the other side with miraculous success. It's good to know that all of these amazing stories are true. And these people are just like you and I. The only thing that made them succeed was that they continuously said to themselves that I will never give up on my dream. I know by simply reading through, you will gain more courage, inspiration, motivation to really go for your dream in life. And this is really important for all of us to understand. Maybe some of you have heard this before. Maybe not. Albert Einstein did not speak until he was 4 years old. Did not read until he was 7. His parents thought he was subnormal. One of his teachers described him as mentally slow, unsociable, adrift forever in foolish dreams. He was expelled from school and was refused admittance to the Zurich Polytechnic School. He did eventually learn to speak and read, even to do a little math. Winston Churchill failed 6th grade. He was subsequently defeated in every election for public office until he became prime minister at the age of 62. He later wrote, "Never give in, never give in, never, never, never in nothing. Great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. Never, never, never give up." As a young man, Abraham Lincoln went to war, a captain, and returned a private. Afterwards, he was a failure as a businessman, and as a lawyer in Springfield, he was too impractical and temperamental to be a success. He turned to politics and was defeated in his first try for the legislature. He was again defeated in his first attempt to be nominated for Congress, defeated in his application to be a commissioner of the General Land Office, defeated in the senatorial election of 1854, defeated in his efforts for the vice presidency in 1856, and defeated in the senatorial election of 1858. He later became the 16th president of the United States of America. Walt Disney was fired by a newspaper editor because he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. He went bankrupt several times before he built Disneyland. In fact, the proposed park was rejected by the city of Anaheim on the grounds that it would only attract riffraff. Henry Ford could not read nor write, failed, and went broke 5 times in business before he succeeded. As an inventor, Thomas Edison made 1,000 unsuccessful attempts, as we all know, at inventing the light bulb. When a reporter asked, "How did it feel to fail 1,000 times?" Edison replied, "I didn't fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps." Thomas Edison's teacher said he was too stupid to learn anything. He was fired from his first 2 jobs for being non-productive. Louis Pasteur was a mediocre pupil in undergraduate studies and ranked 15th out of 22 students in chemistry. R.H. Macy failed 7 times before his store in New York City caught on. Van Gogh sold only 1 painting during his life, and this to the sister of one of his friends for 400 francs, approximately $50. This didn't stop him from completing over 800 paintings. F.W. Woolworth was not allowed to wait on customers when he worked in a dry goods store because his boss said he didn't have enough sense. When Bell Telephone was struggling to get started, its owners offered all their rights to Western Union for $100,000. The offer was disdainfully rejected with the pronouncement, "What use could this company make of an electrical toy, and how many people have a telephone today?" Sigmund Freud was booed from the podium when he first presented his ideas to the scientific community of Europe. He returned to his office and kept on writing. Rocket scientist Robert Goddard found his ideas bitterly rejected by his scientific peers on the grounds that rocket propulsion would not work in the rarefied atmosphere of outer space. An expert said of Vince Lombardi, "He possesses minimal football knowledge and lacks motivation." Lombardi would later write, "It's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get back up." After Carl Lewis won the gold medal for the long jump in 1996 Olympic Games, he was asked to what he attributed his longevity, having completed for almost 20 years. He said, "Remembering that you have both wins and losses along the way. I don't take either one too seriously." Babe Ruth is famous for his past home run record, but for decades he also held the record for strikeouts. He hit 714 home runs, struck out 1,330 times in his career. About what he said, "Every strikeout brings me closer to the next home run." Hank Aaron went 0 for 5 in his first time at bat with the Milwaukee Braves. Stan Smith was rejected as a ball boy for a Davis Cup tennis match because he was too awkward and clumsy. He went on to clumsily win Wimbledon and the U.S. Open and 8 Davis Cups. Tom Landry, Chuck Noll, Bill Walsh, Jimmy Johnson accounted for 11 of the 19 Super Bowl victories from 1974 to 1993. They also share the distinction of having the worst records of first-season head coaches in NFL history. They didn't win a single game. Johnny Unitas' first pass in the NFL was intercepted and returned for a touchdown. Joe Montana's first pass was also intercepted, and while we're on quarterbacks, during his first season, Troy Aikman threw twice as many interceptions, 18 as touchdowns, 9. Oh, and he didn't win a single game. You think there's a lesson here? Charles Schultz had every cartoon he submitted rejected by his high school yearbook staff, and Walt Disney wouldn't hire him. After Fred Astaire's first screen test, the memo from the testing director of MGM dated 1933 read, "Can't act, can't sing, slightly bald, can dance a little." He kept that memo over the fireplace in his Beverly Hills home. Astaire once observed that when you're experimenting, you have to try so many things before you choose what you want that you may go days getting nothing but exhaustion. And here is the reward for perseverance. The higher up you go, the more mistakes you're allowed. Right at the top, if you make enough of them, it's considered to be your style. After his first edition, Sidney Poitier was sold by the casting director. "Why don't you stop wasting people's time and go out and become a dishwasher or something?" It was at that moment, recalls Poitier, that he decided to devote his life to acting. When Lucille Ball began studying to be an actress in 1927, she was told by the head instructor of the John Murray Anderson Drama School, "Try any other profession." The first time Jerry Seinfeld walked on a stage at a comedy club as a professional comic, he took out the audience. He looked out at the audience, froze, and forgot the English language. He stumbled through a minute and a half of material and was jeered off stage. He returned the following night, closed his set to wild applause. After Harrison Ford's first performance as a hotel bellhop in the film Dead Heat on a Merry-Go-Round, the studio vice president called him into his office. "Sit down, kid." The studio head said, "I want to tell you a story. The first time Tony Curtis was ever in a movie, he delivered a bag of groceries. We took one look at him and knew he was a movie star." Ford replied, "I thought you were supposed to think that he was a grocery delivery boy." The vice president dismissed Ford with, "You ain't got it, kid. You ain't got it. Now get out of here." Woody Allen, "I don't want to achieve immortality through my work. I want to achieve it through my not dying. 80% of success is showing up." Michael Caine's headmaster told him, "You will be a laborer all your life." Charlie Chaplin was initially rejected by Hollywood studio chiefs because his pantomime was considered nonsense. Decca Records turned down a recording contract with the Beatles with the evaluation, "We don't like their sound. Groups of guitars are on their way out." After Decca rejected the Beatles, Columbia Records followed suit. In 1954, Jimmy Denny, manager of the Grand Ole Opry, fired Elvis Presley after one performance. He told Elvis, "You ain't going nowhere, son. You ought to go back to driving a truck." And it goes on and on. Jack London received 600 rejection slips before he sold his first story. Publishers rejected Richard Hooker's humorous war novel, MASH. He had worked on it for 7 years. Publishers rejected Dr. Seuss's first book, To Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street. What does that tell us? Reflections of each of us, as everybody is. What does that tell us? What does all this mean? It is how we feel about ourselves. That's what it means. That all this wanting and having and needing and incessantly, lifetime after a lifetime, you only begin to enjoy life when you surrender to it. So if you really would like to experience being truly unstoppable in your life, you learn how to increase your consciousness and expand your energy by tapping into a higher vibration of belief in yourself. You won't care so much of things if they go exactly as planned. Instead, you'll just continue to do what inspires you and lifts your vibration. And this one commitment to yourself, this is one commitment that you cannot break. This commitment is to be kind to yourself, gentle with you, and never come down hard on yourself, no matter what. Follow this strongly and committedly, and you'll start increasing your vibration to attract, create, manifest everything your heart desires. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted. And I'm sure we all are, and the first thing that we desire to do is relax our bodies. Head to toe, inside and out. Anything that you've attracted, magnetized, created the reality manifested in the last 24 hours or longer, surrender. Just let it go. Fall away. Body will respond. Shoulders will drop. You'll begin to relax. You just kind of float off. And as you relax the body, you move into the now. And the now is all we have. The past is completely dead, inert, gone. We've already traveled it. The future doesn't exist. But yet incessantly, the majority of us spend our time in the past or the future, and we leave the now alone. So the now stills the mind and the ego. See, that's where you begin to master the mind and the ego, by staying in the now. Some of us will go into the past. We will stay in the past too long. We will then whenever you focus on your breath, you're in the now. Space between heartbeats, moment to moment. The now is simple. It's not complicated. You don't have all these thoughts flowing in. You don't have all these wants and desires and needs banging on you. You just have total silence. In the now, moment to moment, exactly what you're doing now. And how do you stay in the now? How do you? Your breath. You focus on the breath, you'll know that you're in the now. And the breath is, we take it in through the nose very easily and out through the mouth. And as we take it in, it is divine positive energy because it supports the vessel that holds the kingdom of God. Many of us take our breathing for granted. So as we breath in this divine positive energy, it joins our God force energy. And in our relaxed state, as our bodies are relaxed and we're in the now, we have 9 chakras, energy vortexes. And each one is a colored wheel of light. Each one has a different flower. And in the center, each one has a different geometrical shape. And as it joins the God force energy, our chi, our ki, our prana, we start bringing it up effortlessly through the center of our bodies. We start with the red wheel of light, the root chakra, the Muladhara. This is our career, money mindset, and sense of belonging. It represents our foundation and feeling of being in the now, grounded, the base of our spine, tailbone area. Emotional issues or survival issues such as financial independence, money and food. Physical association, spine, rectum, legs, arms, circulatory system. Then we move to the orange wheel of light, the Vadhisthana, sexuality and pleasure. It is our connection and ability to accept others and new experiences. Location is lower abdomen, about 2 inches below the navel and 2 inches in. Emotional issues, sense of abundance, well-being, pleasure, sexuality. Physical association, reproductive organs, kidneys, bowels, immune system. Then we go to solar plexus chakra, the Manipura, the golden yellow wheel of light, our personal power, and our ability to channel. Our solar plexus chakra is our ability to be confident and in the flow of our lives. In other words, we watch our lives, we master them. Location is the upper abdomen and the stomach area. Self-worth, emotional issues, self-worth, self-confidence, self-esteem. Physical association, central nervous system, pancreas, liver, digestive tract, skin. Then we go to the emerald green wheel of light, the heart chakra, the Anahata. This is our love, relationships, and self-acceptance. It is literally our ability to love. It's the center of the chest just above the heart. Emotional issues are love, joy, and inner peace. Physical association, heart, thymus, lower lungs, circulatory system, immune system. And then we move to the throat chakra, the blue wheel of light, the Vishuddha. This is our ability to communicate. It's in our throat. Emotional issues are communication, self-expression of feelings, and the truth. Physical association is thyroid, respiratory system, teeth, and vocal cords. Then we go to the indigo wheel of light, the third eye chakra, the Ajna. This is our ability to focus on and see the big picture. Its location is the forehead between the eyes, also the brow chakra. Emotional issues are intuition, imagination, wisdom, ability to think and make decisions. Physical association, pituitary gland, eyes, and sinuses. And then we have the violet wheel of light, connection to spirituality, pure bliss, physical association, pineal gland, brain, and nervous system. And we brought this powerful energy up through the center of our bodies, through these energy vortexes, which connect us to the spiritual and the physical, and back and forth. And we hold it at the top of our heads, briefly. I am light, I am love, I am. And in that brief moment, we compress and condense it into pure liquid energy, omnipotently powerful, and release it over our pineal gland. And you, through your motion picture in your heart mind, you can see the pineal gland any way you wish. I look at it as a green ball, a rosebud that absolutely immediately full blooms and blossoms into a vibrant, multicolored petal rose with a beautiful fragrance that is eternal, sending out waves of soft, deep, eternal love. And the pineal gland is fully functioning, and it opens up all the gateways and unlocks all the blocks, and it literally allows us to connect with all the particles of existence. Everything and everything, nothing and nothing, all at once. We're also consciously aware that we are of and from the highest, the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest, the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude. We're also aware that we are merged. We are one, the body, the heart, mind, the spirit, the soul, the higher self, the God, the pure consciousness, one. We're the paradise. We're creating the paradise. We also are the heaven on this planet. So we're creating the paradise, and we walk as heaven on earth. Now we have others with us, all of them, the archangels, cherubim, seraphim archetypes, the ascended masters are all consciously aware that they are of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude. Now the angels, the archangels, cherubim, seraphim archetypes, they're a civilization that vibrates at a different frequency than we do, therefore we don't see them like we see each other, but we meet with them all the time. And when we do meet with them, we don't really notice it until afterwards. We say to ourselves, that was an angel. Or they come in many different ways to help, to assist. We do the same with them. And are we part of them? And are they part of us? Are we part of the ascended masters? And are they part of us? Yes. The archangels can surround any one of us in the numbers into the thousands, because their frequency, vibrational frequency, allows them to hold a small space in large number. The ascended masters are those: Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Sananda, Jesus, El Moria, Abundantia, Pell, and Thoth. They are those who have mastered ascension out of body and hold pure consciousness God form. We are mastering ascension into body and creating experiences along the way so that we can perfect our creation. Now we have others. We are compelled to call upon all of the reflections of all of us. All of us, all the reflections. So we immediately call out to all the light energy beings and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And understand, we're assembled only because our vibrational frequency is in deep eternal love and deep eternal gratitude. And we want for nothing. And we're here to liberate this planet. So all the pieces that come here and gather are all consciously aware that they are of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude. They could not be here if they were not. So all these light energy beings come in the googleplexes. One googleplex fills this universe. They come in the trillions of googleplexes. inner earth, hollow earth, beneath earth, Agartha. And they come in the billions, and they're with us now. We call upon all of the galactics, all the off-worlders, all of the celestials. Now, we're only familiar with a handful of them, somewhat familiar, and this includes all of the species and levels, the good, the mid, and the bad of those civilizations. And we have the Pleiadians, the Sirians, the Andromedans, the Arcturians, the Zeta Reticuli, the Feline. We have the Greys, the Nords, the Draco, Reptilian, the Golden Pyramid, the Avian, many, many, many more. They've been assisting us in our evolution and our enlightenment and our ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed slavery. And they and the billions are with us now. We call upon all of our loved ones, all those who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited. They come in the billions, and they are with us now. We call upon all the light energy beings who have decided to be housed in the following forms on and above and below this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now, in this meditation, forming the circle of life. And they come into billions, and they are with us now. All the light energy beings who have decided to be housed in the following forms, on and above and below this planet Earth, Gaia, we've only seen a smidgen of them. Shapes, colors, sizes, forms, configurations. And we're only familiar with a handful of them, somewhat. The fairies, the sprites, the elves, the dwarves, the gnomes, the trees, the trolls, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, the mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, and the minotaur, many, many, many more. And in the trillions, they are with us now. Our frequencies, our vibrational frequencies are deep eternal love. No expectations, no attachments. It is just that what we are. So all of our gods together, arm in arm, hand in hand, we're in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, abundance. And we're all one. And we're all God. And we're all love. And our God force energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever, beyond, and forever. And it continues to intensify. And it continues to expand. We immediately form a massive circle of light. It is our core essence, source creator, deep eternal love. It is so bright that it grays out the darkness of space. It would take over 1,000 billion suns in this solar system to come even close to its radiance and brilliance. It floods everything and everything, nothing and nothing. All of our brothers and sisters on and above and below this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, in this now, in this meditation. Deep eternal love, pouring forth eternally, flooding, saturating, and bathing all of us, all life, the highest supreme value in the universes. Now, we continue to levitate up above this planet, and we come into a gossamer field. It's massive. It's trillions of different colored lights, little teeny mirrors reflecting back and forth to all of us gathered in this meditation. It's amazing. And in this gossamer field, as we continue to levitate or ascend, we're met with the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is a column that reminds each and every one of us that we are the power of healing. We're then met with the violet, blue, purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is a column that reminds each and every one of us of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. We are then met with the white fire. This is a column that reminds each and every one of us that we are imbued head to toe, inside and out, with an impenetrable white fire, God force energy armor. The highest and the deepest eternal love and gratitude. And it cannot be breached. It cannot, by any external authority, be affected, damaged, subverted. Nothing externally can harm it. But only you have the power that if you decide to lower your vibrational frequencies low enough, and hatred and fear and sorrow and anguish and stress, anxiety, you will create a breach in your white fire armor. And all the lower dark matter and survival matter frequencies can come flooding in. If this does happen, and whether it's consciously or unconsciously you choose to do this, you're immediately met with the purple transmuting flame. This is a column that reminds each and every one of us that we can bring in the purple transmuting flame. We can transmute all of these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, sending them to pure consciousness where they are no more. We are then met with the violet ray. This is a column that reminds us that we can bring in the violet ray right behind the purple transmuting flame. We can literally purify and cleanse the area, restoring our vibrational harmony of deep eternal love and gratitude, sealing the breach, and again, we are with the one, the God. Pure eternal bliss. Then we're met with the golden white pink light. This is a column that reminds each and every one of us that where the sun sets, where the sun rises. We are the rain, and we are the rainbow. We are the waters. We are the forest, the trees. We're everything. Now, as we continue to ascend above this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this meditation, this circle of light, some of us step outside our physical form and hover effortlessly above them. As we do this, we come upon a massive crystalline light tower that we created. It's larger than the solar system. It's very easy for us to see this oblong sphere that holds the highest of the highest high frequencies of deep eternal love. And it's like a golden yellow-white light that is waving out in soft, warm frequencies of deep eternal love. And then all the color bands around it are waving out deep gratitude, abundance, joy, bliss, tranquility. Each wave is sending out a different frequency of kindness, generosity, bliss, and humbleness. You can feel it as it warmly, literally moves through you, around you. At the top, we designed it. It has a golden ocean. The golden ocean cascades down 360 degrees in every direction. And this golden ocean is pure, deep, eternal love. It's the highest frequency. It floods and saturates and bathes all of us, inside and out, head to toe, perpetually. We are drops of that golden ocean. We hold the essence of that ocean. The ocean is the drops, and the drops are the ocean. We then see our meditative sphere. It says center circle. We created this sphere well over 2 years ago. It holds well over 1,000 of our meditations in perpetual motion, all with deep intent and love and gratitude and just absolute pure bliss. And it can be seen, heard, and felt, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever, beyond, and forever. And it continues and intensify. Understand you in this quiet time, in this meditation. Your commitment, all of ours is. And all we need to do is to commit to this, is to be kind to yourself and gentle with you and never come down hard on yourself, no matter what. I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Deep breath in through the nose. Easy breath out the mouth. Move slowly. And your heart minds witness the commitment that you make to yourself. That's a pretty simple one, but follow it. Be it. Be kind to yourself, gentle with you, and never come down hard on yourself no matter what. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night and the following morning. Stay with it, day in and day out, and watch what happens. We'll be back here Friday, October 23rd, 2020, at 3 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call.